This is one of the longest debates of all time. Quantity over quality or quality over quantity. Today I'm going to be basically talking about how it's relevant for you as a designer, content creator in general. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of each. Let's hop into it. So, generally speaking, quality over quantity is the way I'd like to think about it, but quality over quantity is also kind of difficult. Let's talk about the pros and cons of each. First off, quality over quantity. You're providing less pieces and less overall items to your portfolio or your YouTube channel or your whatever you're doing in this sense. But you're spending more time. So instead of, let's say, once a week you're doing this, you're doing one every 2 weeks. Yeah, you're spending double the amount of time, but you're also providing a higher quality. Now, let's talk about quantity over quality. Quantity over quality is where you're doing a video a week, a design a week. You're consistently putting it out, but you're doing it in half the time of somebody who's doing the quality route to attempt to try and maximize the amount of content coming out of you. Now, why would you do either one? Well, I'm going to talk about quantity over quality first. When you do quantity over quality, usually it's when you're in the earlier part of a career. So when you're doing starting YouTube, you're starting Twitch, you're starting design, whatever. This is where having a high quantity of things is relevant, because then that basically means all you're doing is just pushing your stuff out there. Eventually one will be seen by somebody. And it allows, especially if we're talking design-wise, it allows a wide coverage in your portfolio. Meaning, yeah, it's a lot of work, but is it the highest quality work you can do? Probably not, maybe. I mean, you might be one of those people who can consistently put out high-quality pieces like that. But I think generally speaking, when you do a bunch of quantity, your quality innately goes down. It's kind of like a bar graph. Now let's talk about doing quality over quantity. When do you transition? Because I feel like there is that transition point. When you switch to quality, it should be after you have an established basis to go off of. So when you are doing YouTube, once you reach the threshold that you feel like is appropriate, so maybe like instead of doing 2 videos a week, you do 1 a week. Okay, and then you go to like 1 every 2 weeks. That way you have enough time to consistently work on a video. Design wise, instead of doing like 3 projects a month, you're doing 1 super high quality project, but people already know who you are. And I think that's kind of the settling line, is once you're established, you don't need as much quantity as you should have quality, because then you've reached the standard of quality for you. But people aren't expecting a bunch of work to come out of you. Is there exceptions to that rule? Yeah, there's always exceptions to every single rule. A person that's very relevant in the design world in the sense of breaking this rule is my good friend John, aka Holmescope. You probably heard of him. He's the 365 man, designing a logo every single day for 365 days. He does a design, as the title suggests, he does a design every single day. Are they high quality? Yes. But every single day, 365 days, potentially multiple a day of doing something just innately means his quality is going down. You can see the difference between projects that take him a month versus the projects that take him a day. I mean, I understand, but this is where that quantity over quality comes in. His face is everywhere in the sense of like he has an established fan base now, and it's consistently growing because there's so much content that you physically can't like not see him. If it's in your recommended, you're always going to see him because of how much quantity. So which one's right for you? Well, I can't tell you the full answer to that question. It really depends on you. If you're new into the field that you're trying to dive into, I feel like having a large quantity and just putting pedal to the floor and putting out as much content as you can put out is the best thing you can do. But if you already have an established audience or an established fan base or whatever, you have consistent clients as a designer, focus more on the quality. You have a standard to reach of quality now. And that's basically where I would settle that, is you basically have to determine where you're at in your career. And yeah, that's talking about quantity and quality. If you enjoyed this video, all my socials are going to be linked down in the description. I stream every Wednesday on Twitch, except we're going to be streaming over here after you see this video. We're going to be streaming starting after TwitchCon over here. We'll talk about that eventually, but yeah, my Twitter and everything like that's in the description. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.